Hi, cozy friends. Happy fall. Now that fall has officially started, I know I and probably a lot of you have been already decorating and mentally preparing for fall way before now, but now it's officially fall and we can chat about all of the cozy games and some other games that aren't so cozy that are perfect for fall. If you don't know, I've been doing this for many years. I love doing this. Fall is my favorite season and cozy gaming is my favorite hobby, so it's just like a blend of some of my favorite things. I've got my little leaf plushie with me and I'm ready to go. Let's dive in. Okay, y'all, the first game for fall is Tiny Bookshop. You are running a tiny bookshop. You are managing it, you are decorating it, customizing it, painting it, expanding it, determining which genres and which books you would like to keep in your tiny bookshop. The bookshop is also mobile, so you can hit different locations on a map and unlock more locations on your map and bring that bookshop over there, set it up for the day, close it down for the day, and then drive on off somewhere else for the next day. And it is so perfect to have real book titles. That's the fun part for me, is like having real book titles you can parse through, you can recommend to people, and the recommendations aspect is really what makes this game shine for me, because it just adds this whole other layer. Like, yes, you can customize setup, you can do your regular shop management game, but then you can also customize based on books you know and based on books you've read before or not, and you're kind of challenging yourself to be like, is this part of the recommendation? Will you like this? Will you still like me after? It's all so much fun and it's all perfectly bookish and cozy for fall. I feel like nothing says fall like books and, I don't know, academia. Next is a pair of games. One is Strange Horticulture, which came out a couple years ago, I want to say, and the other is Strange Antiquities, which just came out, and it is so good. If you love Strange Horticulture, you will love Strange Antiquities. They really improved upon it and added more elements that I think make the whole puzzling and brain teaser-esque part of the game a million times better, and I just love the witchy coziness of the antiques and the trinkets and the doodads versus like the plants. Yes, the feel and the vibe is and was always very fall coded, which is why I've always included it in my list. However, Strange Antiquities really takes that to the next level. Like, you are getting a full witchy, like they're fully diving into the witchiness of it. And then there's this whole kind of spooky storyline mystery happening in the town. Oh, it's so good. It's perfect if you love a point and click that really makes your brain work. It's like brain teasing, it's puzzling through things, it's looking at things on a map, matching things up, recalling information. So a real brain booster point and click, if that sounds like your kind of game, you will like both of these. But Strange Antiquities, I think, really pushes the fall vibe to its limit, and I appreciate that. Okay. Next is 2 Point Museum, and particularly their fall/autumn update. So 2 Point Museum is a museum management game. They have this whole franchise of games that I love. Like, if you love management games, if you love making sure things are running smoothly, making sure things are optimized, customizing different areas, tending to the customers, like if you love a management game, you will love 2 Point Museum. And then they also have 2 Point Campus. 2 Point Hospital was the original. 2 Point Hospital is a little less, I think, cozy and fall-y, but 2 Point Campus, 2 Point Museum, absolutely. So 2 Point Museum, you are managing a museum, you're making sure all of the staff is in place, that you have enough staff, that they're doing the right thing, that there's people going and searching for new exhibits to bring back, that you can kind of theme your museum to and around, that like the bathrooms are being cleaned and they're functioning properly, and that there's enough of them for the amount of customers and visitors that are coming into the museum. They also have an autumn update where you can place cute little pumpkins around and just like add a bunch of autumn decor that I appreciate so much. Like, I feel like so many games could tack on an autumn update, a fall DLC pack. Give us something for the people that live and breathe fall. We'll eat it up. So I appreciate that 2 Point Museum did that. And then just at its core, another very like academia, historian, all of those things really fall into the fall category for me. So I feel like it's perfectly cozy to play during the season. The next is Cast and Chill, which is just a chill fishing game. It's literally what it sounds like. You cast, you chill. I feel like an adjacent game to this would be Dredge. A lot of people say that Dredge is a cozy game for them, and I feel like the aesthetics of Dredge also really fit into fall. So either cast and chill or Dredge. However, cast and chill has a fall update. I just saw this. That's so beautiful. It takes you through like this autumnal landscape, and you get to just sit in your boat and fish while you're looking at this beautiful autumnal view. So if you love a good fishing sim, and it's just beautiful, it's just gorgeous. Next is Guardian of Nature, which is a hand-drawn, hand-animated narrative puzzle adventure. It's only in early access right now, so definitely keep that in mind. But I feel like the art style of this fits so perfectly into fall. It reminds me a little bit of Over the Garden Wall. It is not anywhere close to the art style. It gives me that same cozy storybook feeling to it. And you're playing as the main character, Henry, who is a guardian of nature, and you're on a magical journey to save nature. And it's all about the interconnectedness of like flora and fauna and just all of nature, which is perfectly autumnal. Also, Henry changes sizes from like really, really big to really, really small to medium. It's a fun way to puzzle through different scenarios, and it's not just like a typical point and click narrative game. You're kind of puzzling through how to get through certain things and interact with nature in a certain way. It's very cute. Next is Fall of Porcupine, which is on this list like ever since it came out. I mean, fall's in the name. Fall is in the name. It's in the cover image. I feel like the team behind this game really just appreciated fall. They were like, let's just have a eternally fall game. However, this game does have like a more serious subject matter. You play as a young physician in a new town. It's a point and click narrative, and the story is touching on the downfalls of the healthcare system. So if you like a story, if you like something to move you, and you don't want to just like start and end the game the same person with the same knowledge and experiences you had before, if you want to walk away changed and understanding something on a deeper level, I feel like this might be the game for you, and takes place in a very, very cozy setting. Next is a very similar game where the subject matter is a little bit heavy, but the setting is perfectly fall. And that's what I love. Just a sidebar, what I love about cozy games is that they can have a serious subject matter. Like, they can be cozy, they can be lighthearted in some ways, they can be visually appealing, and they can feel like a beautiful cozy world to immerse yourself in, but then they could still be teaching you something very important and leaving you with this like really impactful, lasting lesson about life or reflection on yourself and your own emotions and the way that you process things. That's what I love about cozy games. They're so beautifully complex and nuanced. It's not always just, you know, point and click and farm and fish, and it's all of those things, and all of those things are good, but it can also be so many other things. And so I just love the variety of cozy games. Anyways, I digress. Night in the Woods is another narrative point and click that has a bit of platforming elements too. So that means you're kind of trying to get across certain platforms, and you have to hippity hop and do kind of strategize your way up and through obstacles to get to another point. So in parts of the game, platforming is definitely part of it. It moves you along in the narrative, but most of it, I would say, is like point and click narrative. And it takes place in this gorgeous, gorgeous fall town. I think of all of the point and click, like 2D games on this list, Night in the Woods has the most beautiful setting. It is gorgeous, and just the way the little leaves, the fall leaves kick up, and it's beautiful. The way it transitions from like day to night too. It's gorgeous. But you are playing as May, who is going through kind of a complicated moment in life. She's unsure of what she wants to do. She feels like she might be letting people down, but she's also trying to follow her own heart at the same time. She's just kind of lost, a little aimless, a little confused, and she's going through that journey with herself, with her family, with her friends. You really just go through that process of May realizing that is kind of a forever process that you go through, and kind of a feeling that you feel in different levels kind of your whole life. And so it blends this more serious reflection on life and what success means and what your passions are and your meaning and your purpose in life with this like town mystery. So there's also this town mystery happening that you're stumbling upon accidentally, and then eventually you're like, hold on, I want to figure out what's going on here. So it's this very interesting blend that keeps you engaged on multiple levels. It's also this heartwarming story of like found family and friendships and the importance of community and communication. There's so many things in this game. There's a reason why it's a small cult favorite, because it's just so beautiful. Next is Beacon Pines, which I feel like is a really good game for both fall and winter. And it is like this choose your own adventure storybook butterfly effect game. Another point and click game where you are trying to figure out another town mystery. Things are amiss, something's afoot, and you and your friends are trying to figure out what is going on. But you're writing the story yourself as you go. You're choosing different outcomes. And once that outcome happens, you can go back and like choose other outcomes and choose other branches. And maybe if one branch is a dead end, you go back and you see where this branch takes you. It's very, very interesting. It's not like any game I've really played before. For that, I think it's definitely worth it if you love another point and click narrative game. There's something to say about a fall story where just something ain't right in that town. Next is Cult of the Lamb, which is, I would say it's a mix of like roguelite, and generally you're managing food, you're managing people, you're like building new structures for your community, you're making sure your community is happy, healthy, and then you're going into like this basically a dungeon crawler where you're defeating enemies, collecting resources, defeating rival cult leaders and stuff, and then bringing all of the things you've earned back to your community, to your cult, and building it up from there. So it's perfectly occulty for the season. You're getting, you know, the spooky cult aspect, and then you're dealing with these like spooky dungeons while you're off fighting enemies in the roguelike aspect of it all. It's one of the most unique combinations of games I think I've ever played. If you like a lot of action, and then you also like to balance it out with regular management, you like to chill out at home and manage, and then you like to go in and get a lot of action, I think this is the perfect game for you. It definitely has that balance. I don't think this is a purely cozy game. It's not a purely stress-free game because of all of the like dungeon crawling that you do, but it is perfect for the person who likes that little bit of balance. And come on, it's a cult. Like, that's perfect for fall. Next is Ritual of Raven, which is a new farming sim that came out this year. I know if you hear farming sim and you're like, Kennedy, no more, I can't handle another farming sim. Wait. Okay. Because this one is very interesting. Like, it caught me off guard. I was like, this is probably one of the more original farming sims we've seen in the past couple of years. Like, it's so interesting. So essentially the core and the theme of the game is witchiness, like witchy, which makes it perfect for the fall. However, instead of all of your normal farm chores, you have these constructs, which are just these little beings, and you essentially program them to do your bidding, but to do all of your farm tasks. So if you want them to hoe and prep the land and plant seeds and water and then harvest and then put those specific harvests somewhere, you use these cards, which is technically like your tarot deck. You use these cards to program that function. So there's almost a bit of like coding involved, but as somebody who has never, ever touched coding in her life, except for MySpace way back in the day when I was just coding some, themes. Aside from that, I haven't had any coding experience. Coding scares me. This is fun. It's interesting. And I think it's because I also like logic-based things. As someone who was a lawyer, I'm like, an if-then statement, let's work it out. Let's figure that out. Let's figure that puppy out. And this is all that is. It's like basically if X, then Y, when Z, then X. You know what I mean? Like, you are figuring out a sequence to get the constructs to do a certain thing in a certain order. It is just so interesting. It really stimulates the brain. It really challenges you. Like, I feel like it puts your brain in this different state that isn't just the normal farming sim where you're like, okay, I'm ready to water. And then you're like, okay, I have to figure out how to do this the best possible way. I have to optimize. And there's like probably a million combinations you could do, and you can do it in the most complex way. You could do it in the most straightforward way, but it's interesting figuring out what makes sense to you and your brain. So Ritual of Raven, a farming sim. It's very like diverse and queer as well, which I always love in a storyline. And the characters are hilarious and quirky. There's some customization involved around the town, like right away too. You don't really have to wait around to be able to progress super far to customize. You can kind of start customizing right away, which is fun. Yeah. Regular farming sim, but with an added element of logic and cards. Okay, next is one that I have left off of this list for so many years, and I kick myself every time someone mentions it in the comments, and I go, oh my god, not again, I missed it again. This year, I'm not missing it, and it's Graveyard Keeper. Now, I think the reason I keep missing it is because I actually have not played it myself, but I'm not kidding. Since I started making gaming content in 2019, I have heard of this game. I have heard rave reviews for this game. Why I have not tried it, I don't know, you guys. I don't know. Something's wrong with me. But I've heard nothing but positive things about this game. And so I felt like I could include it in this list, even though I haven't played it. I'll give you the synopsis. It's a graveyard-themed management simulator. One of the summaries I found says it's the most inaccurate medieval cemetery management sim of the year. So they can laugh at themselves. They can poke fun at themselves. That's how you know it's a good game, because that's how you know the writing's going to be pretty good too. But you build and manage your own graveyard. You figure out ways to cut costs, which I think I've seen mention of, like you're selling the people in the graveyard. It has a very detailed pixel art style, and I love pixel art, but this is like a more detailed style. So if you're like, I don't like pixel art, it's a little bit more detailed. So maybe you could get behind it. There's like classic elements of farming and all of the regular like management and life sim type things, but you are running a graveyard. It is not taking itself seriously. It's definitely more of like a humorous take on this concept versus like a very serious one. I want to hear more about it in the comments if you have some like specific things that you love about it. But how can this not be on a list for fall? It's perfectly spooky for the spookier seasons. Next is Squirreled Away, which is a co-op game. I feel like I don't include a lot of co-op games in this, but here's one. Okay, here's one. This is supposedly set in summer, but I just fundamentally disagree with that. I feel like a squirrel in a forest is just purely fall to me. So to me, this game feels like fall, and you can play with up to 4 people. All you're doing is running around, living life as a squirrel, exploring, gathering, crafting, building tree houses. I played the demo of this with my friend, and we had a blast. It's really cute to explore like the scale of everything. You are this tiny squirrel, and then you're coming across things that are, regular size for a human, but just huge for a squirrel. So the scale of things is really fun. Meeting different characters, like you meet different squirrels and different animals and stuff. They're really cute. I just love finding new games that you can play with friends online, because listen, once a week I'm playing games with friends that are states away, and I miss them, and I want to try something new, and I can't keep playing Lethal Company and Baldur's Gate over and over and over and over, even though I love those and I will, but it's always fun to find something new to just throw in every once in a while, and Squirreled Away is a really, really cute one for this season. And speaking of co-op, Don't Starve Together. I have mentioned this before because it is the perfect fall co-op game. It is a survival game where the style is like so Tim Burton-esque. The art style is just so creepy and weird and stylistically spooky. You are trying to survive the wilderness, basically. You're trying not to starve together. And again, it's another game that's perfect to try either local co-op or online co-op. You can just throw something new in to the mix. You did It Takes Two, you did Split Fiction. Now say, hey bud, let's play Don't Starve Together this season, okay? It's time to get spooky. I'll throw in a few more unofficial co-op games for fall. Little spooky. On the spookier side, definitely Lethal Company. I love Lethal Company. It's so much fun. And Repo. Repo is so scary. Lethal Company and Repo are so scary, but perfect for co-op if you like to be spooked a little bit. You do get used to like the scary enemies, but it's sometimes it's just fun to be scared, and I don't love being scared. I don't love being jump scared, but for these games, doing it with friends, sometimes it is kind of funny. It's kind of hilarious sometimes. Okay, y'all, those were the games for my main category, and now here's my more specific categories. I think I have these every year, and the first one is Fall is a Season. And this is the category where fall is just simply a season in the game. It might not be a objectively fall game, but fall comes up as a season, so you can't deny that fall plays a part. And sometimes it feels real cozy and real autumnal, okay? The first game is Stardew Valley. This, I think, is just always going to be a top OG top 5 forever favorite for me. Perfect farming sim. It's so good. The characters are so interesting. The town feels so cozy and alive. And then fall in Stardew, from the music to the falling leaves to the decor around town, there is nothing like it. There is nothing like fall in Stardew. If you want a game where you're like, I just want it to be fall for a little bit while it's fall in real life, play Stardew and then get to the fall season and then just enjoy it. Just soak it in for the rest of fall. Next is Tales of the Shire. This game had mixed reviews. I know. Some people really didn't like it, and then some people really did. I really liked it, and I think for me it was because I knew exactly what it was going to be going into it. So this is like a life sim, a very casual, cozy life sim where the focus is like doing quests for neighbors, getting to know neighbors, hosting dinners for neighbors, cooking, a little bit of fishing, a little bit of like fetch tasks, some gardening, and a lot of decorating. So if you love decorating, if you love like getting into the nitty gritty of like placing every little trinket from like a book to a spoon, you will love the decorating in this game, and it's so cozy. I would say don't get it on Switch. I would get it on like PC or a console, because it just, the graphics are, they're just not the same. They're really beautiful on PC, and so going between the two, I'm like, what the heck? I think if you're not expecting the world out of this game and you know what you like, and what you like is a cozy slice of life sim where there's not a million things happening, you're just like enjoying the world that you're in and experiencing life in the Shire and just getting to be in the Shire, then you will like this game. If you want like a more active quests and like paleo type quests, more objectives, you're just not going to find that here, so you might not like it. But I think that's kind of where the discrepancy and the contention came up with this game and the reception of this game. So it'll just depend. It'll depend for you. However, Tales of the Shire does have a fall season, and it is gorgeous. It's beautiful. The red and brown and orange leaves. I just got lost in it for a second in my head. It's beautiful. So fall is a season in Tales of the Shire, and you might not like the whole game. You might want more out of the game, but if you already got it and you're like, I'm stuck with it and I don't like it, at least maybe get to fall, and then you can experience fall in the game, and maybe that'll be worth it for you. I don't know. Next is Fields of Mystria, which I think is the next best farming sim to Stardew Valley. They like took all the good things about Stardew Valley and then improved upon a couple things, and then made some completely new additions, and really just made their own way in the farming sim genre. I think like they did not just copy paste, they made it special. They made it interesting. The characters are beautiful and interesting. The town feels really alive also, which I feel like must be hard to do, because I don't find a lot of farming sims where it genuinely feels like the town is alive and its own thing, and you're just like dropped in and then you slowly become part of it. I think Stardew Valley does that really well, and I think Fields of Mystery does that really well. But fall's a season. Fall's a season. Next is Campervan Make It Home. Fall is not a season, but it is a location that you go to for one of your stops for the camper van. It's not like a full season in a game that you're going to play, but you'll be in a little autumnal fall-like area, and it's, let me back up. I got ahead of myself. The game is a narrative, puzzle, organization, customization, decorating game. So you have a camper van, obviously grow that camper van over time through the narrative. You start small and you customize and decorate your camper van from the inside to all the little like decor choices, from flooring to cabinets and all of that, bedding, to where you're placing every single item. So it's almost like a combination of Sims and unpacking, because there's that element of I have to make everything fit in this camper van, but it's a little bit more customizable, I think, than unpacking. You can kind of choose where you want things to be. If you wanted to put half of the things on the bed, you could, but it's more about like what feels right to you, what feels cute to you, and also puzzling through like how you are going to fit everything in there. And then you're also following along the main character's narrative, which is very touching. It's very touching. Next is Echoes of the Plum Grove, which is a very unique farming sim. It's a farming sim that kind of adds life sim elements in there too, because you are trying to make your way through like a lineage, a family lineage. You're trying to have descendants and have those descendants be successful, and then you take over the descendants. You are trying to keep them alive and well. And it's so interesting because there's like illness involved and trying to make the right choices so that your family can live on and live on as long as possible. But fall is a season, and I think this is a very fall coded game on its own, but then fall being a season really puts this squarely into the fall category. So it's very cozy. It also has this cool like 2D 3D animation style where the little characters are 2D, but then they'll like flip around, and it's very cool. Next is Animal Crossing. I have to include Animal Crossing. How could I not? Whenever I want to feel like I'm being wrapped in a warm autumnal hug, I go on Animal Crossing in the fall. As you know, or you may not know, Animal Crossing is real-time based. So like you go on September the 23rd, and it is September the 23rd in Animal Crossing. You go on at 12 p.m. It's 12 p.m. in Animal Crossing. Sadly, it's not like fall until I think November in Animal Crossing, which is one of my biggest heartbreaks in life. It is technically fall. You start seeing acorns and you start seeing different like fall items, and obviously you get like Halloween items and Halloween events and stuff like that, and that's so fun to decorate everything with. But the trees and in the grass and stuff, they don't turn orange until like early November, I want to say. However, there's still such a beautiful fall season. The trees are orange, the leaves are falling from the trees sometimes. You decorate the town in jack-o'-lanterns and hay bales and pumpkin carriages. It's just so quintessential fall, so quintessential like Halloween-y. I feel like it's one of the few games so that you can really customize your space using actual elements, like assets that are fall based. I don't know, Stardew has a pumpkin or two here and there, but you know, there's so many in Animal Crossing. There's so many different actual objects that you can buy in game and just flood your town with. You could have a perpetual fall. You could have a fall all year if you wanted. My next category, which is home to one new one and then one that I just talked about, and that's Make It Fall. This is the category where you have a game and you can make it fall. You can just make it fall. Make it fall. Make it fall because you can customize. So the first one is also Animal Crossing because of what we just talked about. So I'm not going to get into that anymore. You get it. There's so many fall elements that you could literally just make your town autumnal and Halloween-y all year round. And I've tried to do that. I do have areas on my island that are just always autumnal, and I love it. The last one in this category is Sims, because if there's not a million bajillion ways that you can make your lot in your home autumnal, you can do red trees, orange trees, yellow trees. You can make the coziest home, the coziest build ever. If there's not enough things you can do in game, you can find an unlimited amount of CC, which is custom content. If you don't know, it's usually free. You can just search on Pinterest. You can search wherever you want for Sim CC that is autumnal, that is fall, that is Halloween, and you will find everything you're looking for. I am not kidding. The Sim CC creators are truly another breed, and they are always there for us. They always deliver. So you can make the Hallmark fall movie of your dreams. You can live out your like fall romance fantasies in Sims if that's what you do. I don't know. I just like to build. I like to create houses. I like to decorate the houses and just deck them out in autumnal decor and cozy fairy lights and like create a cute little garden, have some horses and cows. That always feels very autumnal to me, and just have tons and tons of maple trees. I would say having seasons and the cottagecore pack and maybe the horse pack, I think those are all essential to getting that like full fall vibe, like to the fullest extent. But you can, like I said, CC can get you very, 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 very far. And I always use Pinterest. I recommend Pinterest. It just has a really good search engine for CC because it'll pull from all different kinds of places. And it's just lots of Sims girlies keep their stuff organized in Pinterest. So you will find it, I promise. Okay, now we're moving into the not so cozy category. So these are just not cozy. They're not cozy. It's not even not so. They're just not. However, if you find them cozy, all power to you. Let's get into them. The first is Little Misfortune. Oh, I love this game. This is actually one of my favorite games I would say this is actually one of my favorite narrative games, like point and click narrative games of all time. Definitely top 5. It has a storyline that'll just grip you like this, like right by the collar and just hold you there and then push you off at the end. You're playing through the life of this little girl named Little Misfortune and all of the misfortunes she goes throughout her day or week or however long it is. I don't even know. It is perfectly spooky. It's like not scary, it's spooky. I think there's a lot of games that are just straight up scary. This is more spooky. So it's really, really good to play in October, I'd say. The aesthetics and the art style, very, very cute. And listen, it is cozy, but the game subject itself, absolutely not. Lots of content warnings in that one. You will just fall in love with Little Misfortune and she'll stay with you. She'll stay with you for a long time. Next is Little Nightmares. And I'm so excited. Little Nightmares 3 is releasing this fall. Little Nightmares 3 is the first co-op installment in this franchise. Little Nightmares 1, fantastic, amazing story. Definitely scary. Like this is beyond spooky. It goes into scary. If you just want to watch people play it, that sometimes is just as fun if you don't like to like play through the spookiness of it. But the storyline is amazing. Little Nightmares 2 just carries that storyline along. Little Nightmares 3, same thing, but it's co-op so you can play with a friend. And I'm so excited. I played a demo of this, I think last year at PAX, and it was so much fun. It was so much fun. And I cannot wait to dive into it with somebody this year. It's like the perfect timing, scary, spooky. I want to play it right around Halloween. Little Nightmares is a platformer. So it is a narrative platformer. So you're getting a lot of story, but it is a platformer at its core where you are having to overcome obstacles. You're having to like wait and hide and then like jump and utilize certain tools that one person has that the other person might not have. And you're working together in this one. Yeah, very exciting stuff. The last one in this category is Ravenous Devils, which is a management sim, kind of like a restaurant management sim, but the source of the food is suspicious, to say the least. This is basically Sweeney Todd in a game. So if you love a management game, if you love like restaurant sim type thing, restaurant management, here you go. So if Sweeney Todd spoke to you, if you were like, God, I wish I could play Sweeney Todd the game, there you go, Ravenous Devils. And my very last game to share with you for fall is Witchbrook, which is kind of cheating. It's in a category of its own because it is not out this fall. It'll be out winter 2025. Oh, but it is the perfect game for fall. Witchbrook is basically like Stardew Valley, but you're in a magical witch school. It's like all of the witchy life sim, managing your classes and learning magic and going to do quests. It's all of the witchy school fun that would be perfect for fall. But we're not getting it this fall. We're getting it winter 2025. My only hope is that we get it like early December, late November, early December, so that it doesn't quite feel full Christmas yet. But I think we've all been excited and waiting for Witchbrook for a long time. The thing with me is when I hear a game that's coming out that I know I will love and be hyper fixated on, I have to block it out of my head until it comes around. So people will be like, why haven't I heard you talk about Witchbrook? Why haven't I heard you talk about Haunted Chocolatier? Because it doesn't exist to me until we have a release date. It can't, or I will crumble, I think. So anyways, Witchbrook is coming finally. We finally have a date for it, but not until winter 2025. So soon, but just not within fall, technically. All right, y'all. Those are all of the fall recommendations I have. All of the cozy games that I think are perfect for this season. I want to hear which ones you're playing this season. I want to hear which ones you always play, whether you like return to some, whether you have like an ongoing Stardew save file that you always keep in the fall season. I want to hear which ones you're excited to try for the first time. I want to hear ones that you think I left off this list. So let me know in the comments. Happy fall. I hope you have a lovely, lovely, cozy fall. I love you. Stay cozy. Bye.